Welcome to my latest video. This one is more so going to be like a vlog. Just me reflecting on some conversations I've had throughout the week, and some things I've tweeted about on Twitter. But you know, I have this thought in my mind about a tale of two worlds, and I sit back and I watch and I observe how a lot of us we toe the line. We toe the line between doing what's right and doing what's wrong. We toe the line between walking in the flesh and walking in the spirit, and it's like we're confused. We mix them up. We try to do just enough to be saved and still enjoy things of this world. Now, I'm not that guy. I'm not the guy that always talk about it's worldly, this and that. But for the sake of this video, I am going to say that there are certain things that we shouldn't do personally that compromises our walk. A lot of us, again, want to do just enough. We don't want to go the extra mile. We don't want to abandon everything. We don't want to forsake all. We just want to do enough, and that's not enough. It's like being in love with two different people, and you love on this person and you go over here and you're confused. You know, it reminds me what James says. You're a double-minded man or a woman. You're unstable in all your ways because you want to dabble here, you want to dabble there. It's the reason why Jesus said you can't love God, you can't love money at the same time. It's the reason why he says you can't love him and you love the world, because the world has its desires and God has his desires. Lot's wife is symbolic. We all know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, and we saw how, we read how they were so sinful. But we really don't know a lot about Lot's wife, except for the fact she was married to Lot, and she ended up being turned into a pillar of salt. But a lot of preachers, and for the sake of this video, I'm going to say that, I'm not saying with 100% certainty, but it's like they told them not to look back, to go forward. But she did. It's like we can say that she was curious to see, that she wanted to see what happened. But she was disobedient. She kind of looked back and maybe she longed. I don't know. I would like to give her the benefit of the doubt to say, hey, you know what? I want to see what's going on. I can hear all this noise. I cannot not look. But to illustrate the point, she looked back. And like what Jesus said too, I believe in Matthew, I can't remember the exact chapter, but I'll have it on the screen. But he says, no man puts his hand to the plow and look back is fit for the kingdom. You can't put your hand to the plow and keep looking back, looking at what you missed. There was a reason why, just think about throughout the Old Testament, especially in Exodus, whenever the Israelites, they fled Egypt, but then some of them wanted to go back because we were in horrible conditions. They wanted to go back because at least that it was something they were familiar with. They were comfortable with it. And that really angered God, because I have something so much better for you over here, but you want to go back into bondage? You want to go back to Egypt, to where they mistreated you and killed you? You want to go back to that because it's something that you're used to, you're familiar with that? Seriously? And that's what a lot of us do. God delivers us from certain sins. He delivers us from a situation. But since we're so familiar with it, we want to go back. We're used to it because we don't know how to act with this new thing. It's unfamiliar. But that's the thing about the Christian life, where we walk into a lot of unfamiliarity. You know, a lot of the unknown. Going back to the tale of two worlds. And that's the thing. So you have the God of this world, Satan. And you have the God of all, Abba, Yahweh, Elohim. And they're at war. Well, one of them's trying to be at war. God's just sitting back because Satan's arm's too short to box with him. Anyway, so you have these two worlds clashing. And those two worlds also clash within us. I could get deep talking about, trying to combine science and stuff like that, but I'm not going to go that far. But I will say that we have these two worlds clashing within us. You have the flesh and you have the spirit. And one of them has to override the other. And the more you give in, the more you feed one, the stronger it gets. Then the more you starve one, the weaker it gets. And it's like, it reminds me of this Native American parable, to where this little girl, the grandfather was telling this little girl a story about two wolves that's inside of us. And basically he says, whatever one you feed grows stronger. Good and evil. And we want to make sure that we start feeding the spirit, nurturing the spirit, starving our flesh, killing it, suppressing it. But a lot of us don't do that. We won't do that because we enjoy it. And so you have to decide at what point where you go from here. Are you tired of the same issues? Are you tired of being guilty? Are you tired of being hurt? Are you tired of the guilt? If you're tired of that, then where are you going to go from here? What are you going to do? It has to be at some point to where you have self-control and resist the things that causes you to sin. Resist the things that entice you. So you got to be strong. Know your weaknesses and stay away from them. Know what's expedient and what's not expedient. Because we can do things, but those things that we do may not always be in our best interest. So you have to be wise about that. You have to be very wise and careful. So, what world do you live in? Are you trying to live in both of them? You got to pick one. Don't waste time. Pick which world you want to live in. And hope you pick the right one. Love you.